morning and soon to be good afternoon, everyone, as we welcome you to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network for more exciting North Star Athletic Association baseball action as the home team, the Bellevue University Bruins, take on the visiting Dickinson State University Bluehawks out of Dickinson State, North Dakota. We welcome you to the broadcast. Mick Krupski on this side. Nick Grimm joining me today to do the color commentary as these two teams continue now on to their second weekend of North Star Athletic Association competition. It was a good weekend for both teams. Last weekend, the Bellevue Bruins, a 4-0 sweep against Valley City State University. Dickinson State, not quite as good, but a good start, 3-1 in their competition against Mayville State University. Nick, bringing you to the broadcast today. Good starts for both squads. What do we look forward to in today's action?
It's been very good starts. What I would look forward to is Dickinson State. They seem to not, despite having really athletic-looking guys, they don't seem to have the power to quite get it out into the outfield. There's a lot of walks, stolen bases, some real small ball kind of action out of Dickinson State. So I'd be expecting to see a lot of that.
Just to reiterate your point there, the Bellevue Bruins with 47 home runs on the season, the Bluehawks with only 23, so about a 2-to-1 comparison there in the power numbers advantage to the home team Bruins. As we look down on the field, we see Bellevue head coach Dwayne Monlux visiting with Dickinson State head coach Michael Dow, and the three-man umpiring crew will have Braxton Art behind the plate for game number 1. His compadres Jacob Jager and Brandon Dislagi will be on the bases as we get ready for the first game of this 4-game set. Originally scheduled for Saturday and Sunday, was moved back because of weather considerations to Sunday and Monday. So a 12 o'clock start for the doubleheader today, 10:30 a.m. the start for tomorrow's doubleheader. So brunch with the Bruins and Bluehawks tomorrow, lunch with the Bruins and Bluehawks today. Dwayne Monlux going over the ground rules for the entire party there at home place. That'll give us attempts to talk about today's action. For the Bellevue Bruins coming into today's game, 19-11 overall. The Bruins have been playing good ball as of late, 17-5 over the last 22 contests. The Bruins, as we mentioned, 4-0 in conference play. The Bruins have won 7 consecutive games. The visiting Bluehawks out of Dickinson State, 11-18 their overall record. 3-1 in conference. They, too, have been playing good baseball as of late, winning 6 of their last 8 and 2 consecutively.
That's right. They also have a few really strong hitters among their group of guys. The freshman, I got to find him here. Oh, no, boy. The freshman, Jaden Roberts, he has had what I would consider personally a breakout season with 13 walks, 7 home runs. That is leading this team in home runs so far this season, too. I would definitely keep an eye on Jaden Roberts. He's playing in the... I am so disorganized today, Mick. I am so sorry.
Jaden Wright, he'll be in the 2-hole, the center fielder for Dickinson State.
Yes, he will be.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams as we get ready for today's action. A bright sunny day, as you can see here at John Stella Field at Brown Park. Current temperature 49 degrees. We're expecting a high today around 60 degrees, so that'll be pretty comfortable baseball weather considering a sunny day and very gentle breeze out of the southwest at 6 miles an hour. That means it'll be blowing out towards right center field. For the Dickinson State Bluehawks, as I mentioned, 11-18 overall, 3-1 in conference play. Here is Michael Dowell's starting lineup. Leading it off, the catcher, Cam Erickson. Batting second and playing center field, Jaden Roberts. The 3-hole hitter is the third baseman, Wyatt Wilharm. The cleanup hitter for the Bluehawks is the right fielder, John Michael Gonzalez. Batting fifth, the shortstop, Luis Rodriguez. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Moses Dokes. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Ty Farwell. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Logan Broughton. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Caden Finders. On the mound today for the Bluehawks in game number 1 will be Jacob Scully. Can you tell us a little bit more about Jacob Scully and his pitching exploits?
Yes, Jacob Scully has 3 complete games so far this season, including 1 in the conference. They last played on March 27th, but in that outing he had last week, he allowed 9 walks in the win over Mayville State.
All right, so he'll get the starting nod for the Bluehawks. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup for the home team, the Bellevue University Bruins. 19-11 overall, 4-0 in the North Star, looking for another conference regular season championship. For the Bruins, leading it off and playing third base will be Scott Hansen. Batting second, the designated hitter, Steven Elsner. Batting third for the Bruins, the catcher, Logan Grant. The cleanup hitter for Bellevue, the center fielder, the current North Star Athletic Association Player of the Week, Jake Lacey. Batting fifth and playing left field, Elijah Tanner. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Anthony Lind. Batting seventh and playing first base is Aiden Macaris. Batting eighth, the shortstop, C.J. Townsend. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Nick Gravel. On the mound today for the Bruins with the start, Parker McMahon. Let's tell us a little bit about Parker's exploits.
So at 2.64, Parker has the lowest ERA in the Bellevue bullpen so far. He's pitched 44 innings. He's got 44 strikeouts. And he's got 2 complete games and 1 shutout so far on this season. He last played 5 2/3 innings last week as well. So both pitchers should be warmed up and ready to go.
Very good. Looking at the Bellevue roster page on the website, a couple of good shots there, a series of pictures of Parker in action earlier this season. In the very first picture, if you want to know what a circle changeup is, take a look at that first picture that comes up of Parker, and a great example of that. The next 3 photos in the frame, he's throwing a 2-seam fastball. Good job by the photographer and by Parker McMahon on the season. The Bruin lineup now being introduced by public address announcer and live stats guy and sports information guy for Bellevue, Bill Mullins. Tom Bullard in the press box with us as well. He'll be doing the other press box duties up here. Nick over there, Mick over here as the Bruins take the field, and we invite you, as always, to be part of our broadcast. If you would like to send along your text message, the number is 402-515-7654. North Star fans, Bruins and Blue Hawks, we invite all of you to join us today. Let us know where you are, who you are, and words you want us to pass along. Again, that text message number, 402-515-7654.
And assistant coaches Ricky Ward and Drew Nielsen. Your officials for today's ballgame, behind the plate, Braxton Arndt, and on the bases, Brandon Zinzlaki.
The players get introduced and we get ready for the national anthem. You see the wind. It looks like it's starting to get a little breezier.
Time now for our national anthem. National anthem is concluded, and we're just about ready for first pitch today in this battle. Second weekend series of the North Star Athletic Association 2025 season. The Bruins clad in their purple jerseys with white pants. The visiting Blue Hawks in gray uniforms with navy blue trim. Let's set the defense for the home team Bruins. Aiden Macaris will get the nod at first base. Nick Gravel at second. C.J. Townsend is the shortstop. And Scott Hansen is at third. Across the outfield, Elijah Tanner is in left. Jake Lacey is in center. Anthony Lind in right field. The Bruin battery behind the dish will be Logan Grant. And on the mound, right-hander Parker McMahon. Parker, not superstitious as he wears that number 13. The 6'3 senior out of Bozeman, Montana, gets his warm-up tosses. He was named North Star Pitcher of the Week earlier this season. Jake Lacey, as we mentioned, the North Star Player of the Week for his exploits last week against Valley City State. For Parker McMahon, this will be his 10th appearance on the season, his 9th start. As Nick mentioned earlier, a 3-1 record, 44 in the third innings pitched. He's allowed 46 hits, 13 earned runs, a 44 strikeout to 10 walk ratio, so better than 4-1 in that category, and that team leading 2.64 earned run average. Bruins looking to stay on top of the North Star Athletic Association. Bellevue in first place. Jamestown and Dickinson State tied for second with 3-1 marks. Dakota State and Mayville State 1-3. And then Valley City State, who the Bruins swept last weekend, in sixth place at 0-4 in the six-team conference. All right, let's get started with some baseball action. Leading it off for the Dickinson State Blue Hawks, the catcher, Cam Erickson. Erickson, left-handed hitter, stepping in. Kind of rare for a catcher to be the leadoff hitter, but Dickinson State will send that out. First pitch fastball from Parker McMahon's outer half, strike one called.
It's not that different. I think the Yankees did that on opening day.
But that was very rare. First time ever that a catcher hitting leadoff hit a home run on opening day. Another fastball, that one blasted past Erickson for strike two. Erickson on the season hitting .333. As a team, the Blue Hawks are hitting .292. The Bruins a couple of ticks better at an even .300 on the year. Here's the 0-2. Again, the fastball. Again, the swing and the miss. So power pitching from Parker McMahon to start things off for the Bruins.
Honestly, I wouldn't expect anything less than straight-up power pitching from Parker. He has just got such good command of the ball.
Jaden Roberts, the center fielder. That's Nick's pick to click here today for the Blue Hawks. On the ground and through. Perfectly placed worm burner out into right field. That'll be the first hit of the afternoon. So you may be right on your prediction, Nick, as Roberts gets on base.
So today for Dickinson State, there are two freshmen that are in the lineup. And they have a lot of freshmen in the waiting, as you will. But these two have just stood out and broken out this season. I could see them doing very well for themselves over the next few years.
The three-hole hitter was the third baseman, Wyatt Wilharm. Breaking ball, top of the strike zone, called strike one. So 5 pitches, 5 strikes thus far for Parker McMahon.
Let's hope his name is more of a threat than a promise today.
Bada bing, bada bing.
I'm back.
Short lead at first. Throw over there's not in time as Roberts dives back. Again, that text message number, Bruin fans, you've had it all season long. Blue Hawk fans, we invite you as well. 402-515-7654. The pitch. Breaking ball hit in the air to center field. Jake Lacey a couple of steps to his left and a couple of steps back. Got plenty of room out there to make the catch for the second out of the inning. 380 feet to straightaway center field. It's not the farthest distance. Brown Park ball field here is kind of a small yard. 325 down each line's about 380 to straightaway center field. Here's a cleanup hitter for the Blue Hawks, right fielder John Michael Gonzalez.
Another thing to look out for with Jaden Roberts, currently on first, he also leads Dickinson in steals at 13 so far this season. So,
pitch misses away on the first offering to Gonzalez.
If he sees an opportunity, I think it's key to hold him as much as you possibly can if you're Parker.
Gonzalez, 388 batting average on the year. He's amongst the top hitters for the Blue Hawks. Quick footed throw over to first base, back in plenty of time. The phone's jingling over here, so we've got our text messages in the queue. We'll get to those at the half inning. That pitch just off the outside edge. 2-0 the count on the cleanup hitter, John Michael Gonzalez.
Oh, and there it is. As soon as I said it before the anthem, the wind has picked up again, and it is blowing them flags to right field.
McMahon comes set just above the belt. Runner fakes a go. Pitch misses off the outside edge once again. Now 3-0 the count. McMahon had been perfect throwing strikes to everybody, but now falls behind 3-0 to Gonzalez. Let's see if he has a green light here. Short lead at first. Runner won't be going on this pitch. In the zone on the fastball, now 3-1. Signals being shown in the third base coaching box by Michael Dow, the head coach of Dickinson State, now in his second season. The set, runner does go, pitch. No call from the home plate umpire, so we're assumed it's ball 4. Logan Grant checking with the umpire just to make sure he thought it was a strike. So no steal for Roberts as it's ball 4 to Gonzalez. Runners at first and second now with 2 away, and the batter will be the shortstop, Luis Rodriguez. Joel McMahon pitching very carefully to Gonzalez. He'd rather have this righty-righty matchup against Rodriguez. Luis hitting .306 for the Blue Hawks this year. Breaking ball misses away, backhanded stab by catcher Logan Grant. Parker will do a little groundskeeping with his cleats. As you can tell, a field turf field, John Stella Field at Brown Park. It's been this way for the last 4 or 5 years.
Rodriguez has an on base of .414. That's one thing that that's one of the things Dickinson is really good at, is getting on base.
.389, their team on base percentage. Again, McMahon falling behind, this time 2-0. Top of the outside edge of the plate gets the call there, 2-1. Bruin pitching staff with a 5.22 combined earned run average. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Nice movement on that pitch from McMahon, and nice location. So the count goes to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. We're in the top of the first inning of today's doubleheader in North Star Athletic Association action. McMahon wants to make it happen here. Hit in the air, shallow right field. Who's going to take charge? It'll be first baseman Aiden Macaris will call for it, and he will glove it to retire the side. For the Blue Hawks in the top of the first, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 men left on base. After a half inning, the Blue Hawks nothing, and the Bellevue Bruins coming to bat. So Parker McMahon survives a hit and a walk.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. That just puts up a goose egg on the board.
Parker did a very good job of not letting what could have been a bases loaded situation get to him. He maintained his composure, and he was able to get out of that inning.
Let's take a look at the Dickinson State defense as we get ready for the Bruins' first at-bat. Across the infield, Ty Farwell is at first base. Caden Finders is at second. The shortstop, Luis Rodriguez, and the third baseman is Wyatt Wilharm. Across the outfield, Moses Dokes is in left. Center fielder is Jaden Roberts, and the right fielder is John Michael Gonzalez. The battery for the Blue Hawks, Cam Erickson behind the plate, and on the mound, Jacob Scully. The right-hander will get his tosses. Scully with a 6.00 earned run average on the season, 4 wins and 3 losses. This is his 10th appearance, as well as Parker McMahon's, all but 1 in a starting capacity. He's thrown 45 innings, allowed 47 hits, 30 earned runs, has struck out 45 and walked 20. Those are the numbers on right-hander Jacob Scully. First Bellevue Bruin he will face is third baseman Scott Hansen. Hansen, a .345 hitter on the year as he awaits the first pitch. Looks like a slider in the zone for a strike 1. Most of the time you're going to feature the express as your first pitch, but Scully showing off speed. The windup and the pitch. That one just down, 1-1 the count. We'll get to the text messages here as time allows in this bottom half of the frame. Scully from the windup on the first base side of the rubber. That fastball catches the outside edge, now 1-2 on Hansen.
So Scully opened conference play last week with a complete game. So they played Mayville State.
Catcher sets up on the outer half. That one's fouled out of play, right side over the Bellevue batting cage and bullpen. Count remains at 1-2. Our first text message of this ball game comes from Oregon. The Townsend's listening in. The pitch. Again, the catcher sets up on the outside half. That one's flared down the right field side. Right fielder giving chase, but he won't be able to make a play as it bounces out of play. The Townsends, let's go, baby. Getting us started today with their usual send. Glad you guys are listening in. You'll never guess, but it's raining and 50 degrees in Oregon. Have a great day. Let's go, CJ. Thanks to Pam and Bill for sending in today's message to get us started. Long look in from Scully. Erickson again setting up off the outside edge of the plate. That's where the pitch goes, way wide. Now 2-2.
That complete game that Scully pitched last week, he allowed 3 hits and 1 earned run, and that was a home run, a solo home run in the top of the first. Then after that, he was just locked in.
2-2 the count on the leadoff hitter for the Bruins. That pitch bounces, count goes full. Good job leading off the game by Scott Hansen, making Jacob Scully throw some pitches. Rooting for third baseman Wyatt Wilharm and the Blue Hawks from Southern Arizona. So one Bellevue Bruin, one Dickinson Blue Hawk on our first 2 texts of the day. Glad you guys are with us on the Bruin Sports Network. My personal fan in Alaska says hi. That's got to be Russell Buckmaster. Russell, glad you're with us once again. Here's the payoff pitch. That one's upstairs. So a good job by Hansen getting on base with the walk. Hansen comes into today's game with a .426 on-base percentage. That's good anywhere in the order, but especially at the top. Here's one of the Bruins' main power threats, designated hitter Steven Elsner. Elsner still has that left arm bandage, a bicep strain suffered several weeks ago, has relegated him to DH duties rather than his usual spot at first base. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, popped up and out of play.
Now, Mick, you see my chart here? You see all those green highlights? Those are every single stat that Elsner leads the team in. That's RBI, average, on base, slugging, home runs.
He's been getting the job done now in his second year as a Bellevue Bruin. All-conference first-teamer last year. Pitch misses away. 1-1 the count. Dwayne Monlick's in his usual spot in the third base coaching box, running through signs. Hansen, among the team leaders in stolen bases with 7, gets the lead 1 foot past the cutout on the infield turf.
His signature baby blue bat.
That fastball misses way high.
Powder blue? What shade of blue would you say that is?
We've described it many. Powder blue, baby blue, light royal blue.
It's blue.
Hitter advantage now with a 2-1 count. Scully comes set at the belly button. Foul back. Elsner had a good cut just underneath it. 2-2 now on the 2-hole hitter, number 36, Steven Elsner. Nice day for baseball. Temperature now at 50 degrees. Just a gentle breeze. A few cirrus clouds overhead, but not too many. Hansen was leaning on the play, but able to get back before the throw.
Let me tell you, after how cold it's been this week up here in this area, 50 degrees feels like tank top weather.
Supposed to be a couple of degrees cooler and a little windier tomorrow when the two teams will finish up with the second doubleheader of this 4-game set. So let's enjoy today. Again, Hansen leaning a little bit. Don't know if he's wanting to go. We're just trying to play a little bit with the mind of pitcher Jacob Scully. Ty Farwell, the first baseman, slapping the tags down. Long hold. Again the throw. Again a little bit of the lean. And again the dive back in time.
Now, I don't blame him for trying to get Scott out as much as he has been doing, because Hansen does lead the Bruins in stolen bases.
Runner goes. Hit and run on. Foul out of play. Anthony Lynn actually leads the team with 10, but Scott right behind him with 7.
You know what? That's my fault. I'm sorry. I had the wrong thing highlighted.
You're good.
Can't read my own charts. Spent a lot of time on these.
Fresh supply of baseballs coming in from the bench. Hey, tip of the cap to Balas Buckmaster. Bringing the balls in. We'll give him a nod here. He was a one-year member of the Dickinson State Blue Hawks a couple of years back. He's modeled several different uniforms over his college career, now a Bellevue Bruin in his first year. He was a second-team all-conference player in his year at Dickinson. Runner holds his time. It's hit in the air to center field on the line. And Steven Elsner comes through with the first hit of the game for the Bellevue Bruins, so the Bruins get a walk and now a single. And that'll bring Logan Grant to the plate.
Elsner hit that just perfectly in, what would you call that, close-ish left field? It was just past.
Over the head of the shortstop, so hit pretty much on the line. Took a high fastball and turned it around. So the Bruins have a little something going in the bottom of the first inning.
Beautiful contact. I liked the placement of where that ball dropped.
Grant, another one of the power threats for the Bruins. Elsner with 13 home runs, Logan with 12. Let's see if the Bruins bunt or allow Logan to swing away, going for the big inning early. Looks like they're giving the swing away. Hit in the air to left center field. Who's going to take charge? It'll be the center fielder who will make the catch. The tag at second base. Good base running by Scott Hansen to advance. The throw coming in from center fielder Jaden Roberts. Not nearly in time, so the Bruins put runners at first and third as Grant flies out to center field. Here's the Bruins center fielder, Jake Lacey. Jake, as we mentioned, the conference player of the week. Getting that nod. Had a great series against Valley City State last weekend. Jake on the year. 327. Elsner at first, Hansen at third. First pitch, strike.
Lacey, obviously no stranger to baseball. His father also pitched at Pratt Community College. Both of his sisters played collegiate volleyball, too.
Very athletic family out of Gillette, Wyoming. That one gets away. Here comes Hansen trying to score. However, yeah, he gets the hand in there.
Whoa.
Gets the hand on the plate before the tag by Scully. Pass ball is the call, putting the first run on the board for the Bellevue Bruins. And now Michael Dowell's going to come out of the dugout to argue that call. Looked like the throw got there in time, but Hansen with a nice job getting that arm to the backside of home plate, avoiding the tag. The tag came, but the tag, in the opinion of the home plate umpire, was too late. So both runners advance on the pass ball. The Bruins on top, 1-0. So still a runner in scoring position for Jake Lacey. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on the Bruins center fielder. Way wide. Again, the ball's going to get through. This time we'll rule it a wild pitch. So the Bruins now another runner at third base in the person of Steven Elsner. Two and one the count. Slight advantage to the hitter here. Lacey steps back in. Slightly open batting stance. Again, Erickson, the catcher, setting up on the outer half. That one's hit in the air to right field. Has some deep carry to it. That should be deep enough for Elsner to score. The catch made out there by right fielder John Michael Gonzalez, and the relay to home plate will not be in time. So an RBI sacrifice fly by Jake Lacey for the second out of the inning, and the Bruins plate their second run as Steven Elsner comes across to score. So the pass ball and the wild pitch hurt the Blue Hawks for a couple of different runs.
Now that is Scully's 5th wild pitch of the season so far, and it could not have come at a worse time.
Here's Bellevue left fielder Elijah Tanner. For Jake Lacey, that is RBI number 26 on the year. Breaking ball in the zone, strike one called. I'll catch up with our text messages at the bottom of the inning. Thanks, everybody, for sending those in to get us started today. Bruins up 2-0. We're still in the bottom of the first inning. Again, the setup on the outside part of the plate by catcher Cam Erickson. That's where the pitch goes, but it's also low, so 1-1 the count.
I like hearing this phone go off.
Again, wide. Again, advantage to a Bruin hitters. Scully's been working behind most of the Bellevue batters he has faced so far. That one's hit on the ground and through to right field. Elijah Tanner with the second hit of the inning by the Bellevue Bruins. One to left center, one to right center. And the Bruins keep the inning going for right fielder Anthony Lind.
We just need one in center, and then we can complete the set.
Anthony's bat has come alive over the last several weeks, now up to 271. Tanner gets the lead off of first base. Breaking ball misses outside.
Scully seems to be having some issues keeping it in the strike zone today.
That's thrown quite a few pitches in this first inning. 20-something. 21. Thank you, Bill. Throw over to first base. Tanner back in time. Lind awaits at home plate. Had a good pitch to hit, got under it, fouls it out of play, first base side. Batter and base runner look down to the third base coaching box once again. Let's see what Dwayne Monlex wants his team to do. Little check swing over by the Bellevue dugout. 1-2 the count on Anthony. Hey, I want to take this opportunity to say hello to Rod, the voice of Dickinson, North Dakota sports for many years. Rod comes down to cover basketball games when the Blue Hawks visit the Bruins. Again, foul out of play.
Hi, Rod.
He was up there. He was doing the broadcast when Dwayne Monlex was a baseball, basketball, and football star for the Blue Hawks back a few years ago. We won't say how many. Runner goes on the pitch. Chop to the first base side. Glove there by the second baseman. His throw in time to retire Anthony Lind on the play. So credit Caden Finders with recording the final out of the inning for the Bellevue Bruins. 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors. 1 error, and 1 man left on base. After 1 complete, the Bellevue Bruins 2 and the Dickinson State Blue Hawks nothing. Go Bruins, cheering on my favorite player. Who could that be? We've got a whole bunch of people going for there. Hello from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Go Bruins. Jason Macaris is watching. That's the father of Aiden Macaris, a Bruin first baseman. Glad you're with us today. Probably a little chillier up there north of the border. And we've got another suggestion here for the bat color of Stephen Elsner. The bat is aquamarine. That comes from CJ's parents listening in up in Oregon. That's a good color, too.
That is a really good color.
Oh, and a lot of the other dings you were hearing on my phone come from my wife and kids. We babysat our grandson on Friday night. We got our granddaughters with us here for the next couple of days as well. So sending texts between all the members of the Mick and Jody Krupski family. All right, here we go at the top of the second inning. Left fielder Moses Dokes will start things off for Dickinson State.
23, Moses Dokes.
Parker McMahon getting ready for his second inning of work, working exclusively from the stretch. He'll send the curveball in for a called strike 1. Parker works him right in the middle of the pitcher rubber. Again, something off speed. Again, the right arm of the home plate umpire goes up, 0-2 the count.
Dickinson State doesn't seem to have many power hitters, but Moses Dokes is one of them. 4 home runs on the season so far.
That breaking ball stays upstairs. Dokes does not chase. 1-2 the count.
There's some good plate discipline from Dokes.
Now 2-2. That one bounced to the plate. Hey, a schedule change. The midweek series, midweek game this week is scheduled against Midland University out of the Great Plains Athletic Conference. That's moved from Tuesday to Wednesday, just off the inside corner. So from 0-2, we're now 3-2. Bruins lost to Midland a couple of weeks ago in a midweek game in Fremont, Nebraska, hoping to return the favor. There's a fastball, strike three call. Dokes knew it. Caught a good chunk of the outside corner of the plate. Second strikeout of the game for Parker McMahon.
Now batting the first baseman, number 22, Ty Farwell.
Here's Ty Farwell, the first baseman for Dickinson State. First pitch swinging, back to McMahon, knocks it down, picks it up, underhand toss to first base. And so one pitch, another out. With two away, the next batter, designated hitter, Logan Broughton.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 12.
Farwell, previously at College of the Desert in California, so I bet it's a little bit of a temperature difference between California and South Dakota.
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Even a bigger temperature difference.
One of the Dakotas.
Here's McMahon looking in. The first pitch to Broughton, fastball. Chop foul at the plate. Broughton hitting .222 on the year. A .292 batting average on the season for the Blue Hawks. Slider that time. Slider slash cutter from Parker. Again, Parker working ahead of most of the hitters he has faced thus far today. That's been a signature part of his approach all season long.
Do we call that pitch a clutter?
That pitch down low, 1-2. Third year in the program for Parker. Has been predominantly a starter this year in his senior season. And on the outside, Orange, a strike three call. Two strikeouts in the inning, both of them looking. A 3-up, 3-down, top of the second inning. As we head to the bottom half of the frame, our score remains Bruins 2 and the Blue Hawks nothing.
There's a reason Parker has the lowest ERA on the Bruins. He is just so good with that ball. He can make it go seemingly anywhere he wants it to be.
A couple of different breaks on his curves, a couple different movements between his 2-speed and 4-seam fastball. Gotten through the first 2 innings, scoreless. Bruins were the conference regular season and conference tournament winners last year. Bellevue has been dominant in play in the North Star Athletic Association since joining. Bellevue is a regular season champion 5 consecutive years, and 7 out of the 8. They were the tournament champions 3 consecutive years, and 6 out of the 8 years they've been part of the North Star. Final year for the North Star Athletic Association. Bruins will be part of the Frontier Conference next year. Blue Hawks will be joining them as well. Here's first baseman Aiden Macares. Hello again, Ontario. First pitch swinging, little tardy, out of play right side. Aiden became eligible back in early March. Done a nice job getting a lot of playing time at first base with the injury to Steven Elser. That one goes all the way back to the screen. 19th game of the season for Aiden. 30 games in total for the Bruins squad. Jacob Scully, the wind, the pitch. On the outside, Black gets the call, 1-2. Scully again holds that glove up in front of his face before he begins his approach. That breaking ball just off the outside edge. Scully wanted the call there. That won't make friends with the home plate umpire walking off the mound like that. Just a little bit too wide. 2-2.
It's an airplane passes over us.
Foul back. Nicer than to arrange a flyover for us, so. Brown Park about halfway between Omaha's commercial airport, Eppley Airfield, and the United States Air Force facility Offutt Air Force Base, just south of the Bellevue campus. Fouled out of play once again. Sometimes we have flyovers by hawks and eagles and other birds, and this time it's something a little heavier and a little shinier. The windup and the pitch.
I believe that was a continental.
That's lined into left center field for the base hit. Aiden Macaris sends one out there just about the same spot that Steven Elsner hit his base hit in the last inning. Bruins get the leadoff guy on once again.
Now batting the shortstop.
And hello to Oregon as C.J. Townsend steps in.
It was a Continental Airlines flight, passenger plane.
You know all those colors, huh? The different airlines.
I like airplanes.
C.J. with a bunt up the third base line. Barehanded play there. The throw to first base is in time. The throw behind the second base. And Aiden Macaris strayed too far off the bag. So credit C.J. Townsend with the sacrifice. A great barehanded play by the charging third baseman Wyatt Wilharm. And then the throw behind alertly by the first baseman Farwell to retire Macaris. So 5-3 on the put out of Townsend, and then 3-6 to retire Macaris at second. Here's second baseman Nick Gravel. Takes the first pitch for a called strikeout or half, fastball. So Macaris just trying to be a little bit too aggressive on that play with the big round, big turn at second base. Again on the outside, Black, 0-2. So Gravel now has to go to protect mode at the plate. Hit on the ground to short. Circling behind it, the shortstop, Luis Rodriguez. His throw across the diamond is in time. So the inning started out with a hit, but nothing after that. No runs on one hit, no errors, and nobody left. 2 innings in the book. The Bruins on top by a score of 2-0. Dickinson State head coach Michael Dowell was formerly the head coach at Presentation College in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Unfortunately, Presentation College closed a couple of years ago. They were members of the North Star Athletic Association before closing, so Dowell moved from being a Saint to now a Blue Hawk in charge of their program. Again, Dwayne Monlich's a former Blue Hawk coach after his playing career in Dickinson State. Coached for 9 years at Dickinson State, now in his 15th year at Bellevue University. So a lot of connections between these schools. Parker McMahon completes his warm-up tosses. He's ready to go at the top of the third inning. He'll be facing the 9-1-2 part of the Dickinson order. Second baseman Caden Finders will lead things off. A lot of left-handed hitters in this Dickinson State lineup today. Finders one of them, obviously. McMahon upstairs. Finders hitting .286 on the season. That one gets the top of the zone, 1-1 to count. Open stance for Finders. That one misses away, 2-1 our count. The Dickinson State roster, like the Bruin roster, features players from all over the country, all over the world, in fact. Pitch gets the strike call. Evens it up at 2-2.
Trying to find that plane on the flight radar.
Down low, count goes full.
Just out of curiosity, I'm not having any luck, though. We are about to have a flight come over us that's going from Denver to New York, though. We won't see it.
Payoff pitch upcoming. And that one goes low and away, so the leadoff man gets on for the first time today for Dickinson State as Caden Finders earns the walk. Back to the top of the order, catcher Cam Erickson, a strikeout victim his first time out. McMahon featured a lot of fastballs the first time he went against Erickson. Let's see what he has to offer on this second appearance. Shows bunt, pushes it up the third base side. Scott Hansen fields it. His throw is on time. As Cam Erickson executes the sacrifice bunt, he's retired 5-3, but on the play, Caden Finders advances into scoring position for the Blue Hawks. Second time today, the Blue Hawks have had a runner in scoring position. Let's see if they can cash him in.
That's an example of that small ball that I mentioned at the top during our pregame. They really like to, death by 1,000 cuts, I guess is what I'd call it, paper cuts.
Both teams now successful on sacrifice bunt attempts. Here's Jaden Roberts. Had a single his first time up. Chases the high breaking ball. Comes up empty. Strike one called.
Looks like the wind is shifted a little bit more now toward left field.
Swing and a miss on a fastball, 0-2. According to the National Weather Service, the wind is out of the southwest at around 6 miles an hour, but we've seen it come at a couple of different directions. Not intense wind, just a gentle wind.
I'll take a southern wind over a northern wind any day.
We might get that northern one tomorrow. Breaking ball again, chasing up out of the zone. The swing and the miss. So 3 pitches and the strikeout.
I was at the Storm Chasers game with a buddy yesterday, the Omaha AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals, and we had that northern wind, and we were on the first base side. We were just getting pelted in the face the whole time. It wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the wind, as we say here.
That's right. We feel that a lot in the springtime. Here's third baseman Wyatt Wilharm. 2 out, runner in scoring position. Breaking ball misses way wide.
Swings his bat like it's a lightsaber.
Different players with different styles of keeping loose, keeping ready as the next pitch on its way. That's hit to center field. It's going to drop in front of a charging Jake Lacey. He'll make the catch, but will not have an opportunity to throw it to the plate. An RBI single by Wyatt Wilharm gets the first run on the board for the Dickinson Blue Hawks. 2-1 our score as Caden Finders comes in to score from second base. Fortunately for the Blue Hawks, with 2 outs, Finder was running on the play, so he got a good jump and was able to score standing up. Here's now the cleanup hitter, right fielder, John Michael Gonzalez. He walked his first time up, so 2 walks in the game against Parker McMahon. That's pretty unusual. Came in only allowing 10 walks on the season. That pitch flared opposite way. It'll go into foul territory and then bounce out of play. Out of the view of our camera shot. We've only got a single camera encompassing on the entire infield, but once it gets into the right field and left field corner, we'll have to just revert to a radio broadcast and let you know what's happening out of sight.
We'll just have to do our jobs, I suppose.
That's right. That's why we paid the big bucks. Throw over to first base. Wilharm back easily on the dive.
Yeah, that little camera puts in a lot of work. Thank you, camera.
There we go. Starting to see some budding on the trees. Still mostly brown rather than green beyond the outfield fence. There's a strike called. 0-2. In about 2 weeks or so, the trees will be fully leafed and this will look like a whole different place.
What kind of trees we got out there, Mick?
There's a variety of cottonwood trees and maple trees. Used to be elms, but most of those died back with Dutch elm disease hit the United States back in the 60s and 70s. A few evergreens, but not too many of those.
It's a good mix, good tree mix.
This is my old neighborhood growing up, so I'm familiar with just about every single tree out there. Hit on the ground to short. C.J. Townsend will look it in. He'll go across the diamond to first to retire John Michael Gonzalez. Well, the Blue Hawks pick up 1 run on 1 hit. Sacrifice bunt was influential in making that happen. There were no errors and 1 man left on base after 2.5. Our score, the Bellevue Bruins 2 and the Dickinson Blue Hawks 1. Thanks for joining us on this sunny Sunday afternoon. Nick Grimm and Mick Krupski bringing you the broadcast on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Game 1, a 7-inning contest. Game number 2, a 9-inning contest. The Montana McMahons are watching from Big Sky. You guys must live real close to that. Either that or you're great skiers. Go Parker, go Bruins. And they sent along a picture as well of the snow-covered Big Sky ski area in Montana.
You know, that is a pretty big-looking sky.
We drove by there. We were up in Montana on vacation, my wife and I guess 3 years ago now. So obviously there's not going to be that snow at Big Sky at that time, but we loved all the time we spent up there. The only day, that was when there was a lot of forest fires going on in Canada and the northwestern part of the United States. So we spent a night in Butte, and it smelled like we were inside of a package of bacon from the intensity of the smoke. All right, here we go with the Bruins half of the 3rd inning. Top of the order, Scott Henson. Breaking ball from Jacob Scully in the zone for a called strike 1. Scott reached on a walk on a 9-pitch at bat the first time around. Hit foul up the third base side. Scott made good contact, but got ahead of it just a little bit. Now behind 0-2. I think it was 0-2 the first time up, and then he waited out and got the base on balls eventually in this first time against Jacob Scully. Scully looks in, a slight nod of the head as he likes the signal. Erickson again shifting over the outside part. Foul back to the net. Count remains 0-2.
When Hansen is down in his stance, he swings his bat in kind of a small, gentle circle. It almost looks like he's waving. Or maybe he's telling the pitcher, throw the ball.
Just trying to stay loose. Another one of those guys that wiggles his fingers a little bit. Up and away, 1-2. Second year in the Bellevue program for Hansen. Did play 10 games last year as a redshirt. That's what the capacity you can play and still be considered a redshirt. 2-2 the count. Started off his career at South Suburban College in Illinois. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Good movement down and across on that big breaking ball from Jacob Scully. Strikeout is the first strikeout of the game for Scully. As the next Bruin batter, DH Steven Elsner. Elsner singled his first time up. Came around to score on the sacrifice fly by Jake Lacey. Breaking ball in the zone.
The aquamarine bat.
So Scully has found some success, with that breaking ball in this inning. There it is again, and another strike. Swing and a miss that time.
The ball looked like it dropped right at the last minute before Elsner can make contact.
So now Steven will have to adopt a more defensive attitude. Again, Erickson, when the Blue Hawks get ahead 0-2, he really exaggerates that setup almost in the left-hand batter's box. That's where the pitch goes, 1-2. In his normal stance, flashes out the signals as Elsner awaits. Hit in the air. Over by the third base dugout, a couple at Blue Hawks giving chase, but they will not have a play as it lands behind the third base dugout. Not a lot of foul territory at John Stella Field at Brown Park. Don Roddy Field in Bellevue, where the Bruins will sometimes play their games, there's a ton of foul territory there. Elsner back to the 1-2 count.
One of the spectators grabbed that ball from the tree line and tossed it back over.
Scully again, that glove right up in front of his face, gets the signal. Breaking ball, little chopper up the first base side, fielded by Scully. He'll toss it over to Farwell, and 2 up, 2 out in the inning. 1-3 on that play.
That was just an unfortunate place to make contact with the ball. There was really nowhere else it could go.
Little skew shot off the top of the bat. Home plate umpire Braxton Arndt will go out to check the baseball. A lot of times when you hit it off the end of the bat like that, the leather will get a little cut, and that looks like what has happened there as Arndt throws it out of play. Logan Grant patiently waiting at the plate. Logan flew out his first at-bat today. Grant, as I mentioned, second on the team in home runs with 12, second on the team in runs batted in with 35. Fastball outside corner, strike one called. .351 Logan's batting average. Hit in the air, it's going to stay on the infield. Looks like the second baseman will make the call. Finders now has to backtrack a couple of steps, but he does make the catch, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down in the third inning for the Bruins. After 3 complete, our score remains Bellevue 2 and Dickinson State 1.
This is similar to Scully's last game. It's not a 1-to-1, mind you, but when he was out at played against Mayville State, he gave up a home run in the first inning, and then after that he had tightened up and was able to get the outs. Granted, he did also allow 9 walks in that game, but it was a complete game. And that home run was the only run he had allowed in that game.
Bruins have only left 1 base runner through the first 3 innings. 3 left on base by Dickinson State. Parker McMahon back to the mound to get back to work with his teammates behind him. Tomorrow's doubleheader will begin at 10:30 a.m. So bring your woolies if you're coming to the game. It's going to be a little chilly. Supposed to get down below freezing tonight, so 10:30 tomorrow morning will probably only be in the upper 30s or low 40s maybe.
My girlfriend, she runs. She did a 10-mile event yesterday morning. That started at 7. You could imagine how cold it was at 7. Pro tip, hot hands.
There you go.
They help a lot.
All right, here we go at the top of the 4th inning. Again, this first game of 7-inning contest. Shortstop Luis Rodriguez will start things off for the Blue Hawks. Flew out to first baseman Aiden Macaris his first time up. Parker back to work. First pitch fastball misses away.
The 5'10 junior is one of 2 players for Dickinson from Puerto Rico. Kawamo?
Foul back to the net. 1-1 the count. We'll go with that, huh?
That sounds right.
Kawamo, Puerto Rico, Commonwealth of the United States. Territory, Commonwealth, I forget the correct term. 2-hopper to Scott Hansen at third base. He gloves it, throws it, and in plenty of time to retire Rodriguez. 5-3 on that one. Moses Dokes will be the next Dickinson batter, the right-hand hitter. Oh, hockey fans, just to let you know, record-breaking activity. Ovechkin scored and broke Wayne Gretzky's record for goals, number 895. So congratulations to him and his teammates.
So if Gretzky's nickname is the Great One, what are we supposed to call Ovechkin?
Oh, he's going to be the greater one, I guess.
The greatest one?
One strike to count on Dokes. Popped up, right side, shallow right field. Anthony Lynn comes on, calls for it, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. So both pitchers working efficiently over the course of this game so far.
Now batting the first baseman, number 22, Ty Farwell.
Ty Farwell, the first baseman, next up. He grounded out on a comebacker to Parker McMahon his first time up. First pitch fastball in the zone. McMahon again, as he has done most of the game, getting ahead of the hitters. That time misses away. Dickinson State won 3 of the 4 games last weekend against Mayville State. 4-1 the win in game number 1, a 7-6 loss in game number 2. Fouled out of play, 1-2. And then a double header sweep over the Comets on the final day, 9-2 and 16-12. Bruins scoring in double digits last weekend against Valley City State in 3 of the 4 contests, winning all 4. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Chopper, second baseman Nick Ravel, gloves it going to his right-hand side. His throw on time at first base. So 2 groundouts and a pop-up in the inning. A 3 up, 3 down, top of the 4th. Score remains the Bruins 2 and the Blue Hawks 1. Again, our text message number, if you're thinking about joining us today, 402-515-7654. We've got 4 games coming your way over the next 2 days. Hope you're with us for all or most of them.
Unfortunately, I'm only here today, so you're only going to get play talk and airplane talk and bat color talk for 2 of those 4.
We appreciate you coming on and being part of the broadcast. Nick, a member of the staff over at 1620 The Zone, along with my broadcast buddies Jimmy Allen and John
Schreiner.
I just had a brain freeze there. Sorry, John. So.
Love you, John.
They hop out with some of our broadcasts of Bellevue basketball during the winter season. For the bottom of the 4th inning, it'll be the middle part of the Bellevue order. Lacey, Tanner, and Lynn, the 4, 5, and 6 hole hitters for the Bruins.
Sitting on the 4th for the Bruins, the center fielder.
Jake picked up a run batted in on a sacrifice fly his first time up today. That's the current 2-1 score. Here's the first pitch from Scully on the knees for a called strike 1. Jacob Scully, a senior out of Florence, Montana. So we got a battle of Big Sky Country pitchers out there today. That one's lined, but right at the second baseman Finders. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. Elijah Tanner, a base hit his first time up today. Second plate appearance for Tanner. The Kennewick, Washington native. Scully, the wind, the pitch, foul out of play right side.
It's currently 70 degrees in Kennewick, Washington right now.
All right. Elijah started his college baseball career, also college football career at Whitworth University in Washington. Played 3 years there. Strike called on the knees, 0-2.
Kennewick, part of the Tri-Cities. The other 2 cities, of course, being Pasco and Richland.
Okay. See, you get geography as well as baseball here at the Bruins Sports Network. Might have to change our name from the Sports Network to Sports Network and other stuff. 1-2 the count, and a sweeping breaking ball that misses low and away.
I do like other stuff. I like a lot of things.
A Renaissance man. Swung on and missed. The fastball got inside, and Tanner swung over the top of it for the second out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bruins retired in order by Jacob Scully and his teammates. Let's see if right fielder Anthony Lynn can break that streak. Last Bruin to reach was Aiden Macaris with his single, leading off the second inning. Pitch upstairs to Anthony. Anthony, an Omaha native, played his high school ball at Omaha Central. Swings and misses as Scully's found location since that rough first inning where he threw about 22 pitches. 1-1 the count on Anthony. 2-1. Fourth year in the Bellevue program for Lind. Popped up. That'll get out of play over the top of the press box behind us. Two and two. Balls, strikes, and outs. Little chopper. Might be tough. Scully off the mound, able to get there. His throw to first base takes the first baseman Farwell off the bag. It'll be an infield hit, according to official scorer Bill Mullen, doing that along with several other duties in the press box.
Farwell was about, would you call that half a foot in the air?
And now we're going to have Michael Dahl come out of the dugout requesting the other umpires to get together if they had a different view of that. Farwell's a big target over there at first base, but the throw was high. He was able to glove it. Definitely came off the base, but did he get back in time? Farwell, 6'5". That's a nice size you like to have for a first baseman.
Oh, it looked close, but...
And they are going to confirm the call, safe at first base.
Farwell did look like he was midair right about the time that Lind crossed the base, or hit the base. It was a good jump, though.
And again, we've got our angle here that's 100-some feet away, and the camera's stationary, one fixture, so we don't have a replay that we could show you that would show any differently. So the Bruins break that 7 consecutive streak of not reaching base. An infield single for Anthony Lynn. That will bring Aiden Macaris back to the plate. Singled his first time up today. Looking to try to do it again. Bruins with that 1-run lead. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Fastball up and in.
Last time Macaris made it to base, he just...
Off the outside edge, 2-0.
Barely overshot second base and was able to, or was put out. It was in the second inning.
Off the end of the bat, down the first base line, about 2 feet into foul territory. Farwell makes the catch over there, but just a strike. Aiden heads back to the plate. Anthony heads back to first base, and we'll be looking at a 2-1 count. Lynn with pretty good speed at first base. Anthony does have 10 steals. That's tops for the Bruins on the team. Throw over there. Anthony back on the dive. Ten steals out of 14 attempts on the year for Lind.
Not a bad ratio.
Good lead. Come set. Both pitchers. Here goes Anthony on the steal attempt. Strike called plate. Off of Lynn's back out into center field, so Anthony will pick up the bag. Now 11 stolen bases on the year. And now 2-2 the count on Aiden Macris at home plate. Let's see if Macris can drive him home.
Almost seemed like Lind was trying to go for third base too there for a minute, and then he looked back and saw exactly how close the ball was and decided, nah, I'm gonna step back.
Had it not hit him and squirted out into center field, he might have had a chance to go 90 more feet, but kind of deadened as it hit him in the back. Breaking ball misses away, so it'll be a full count to the Bruin first baseman. C.J. Townsend on deck if the inning stays alive here. And now the catcher, Cam Erickson, up. Little equipment issue. And Erickson, like Bellevue catcher Logan Grant, wearing an earpiece so he can hear the pitch calls coming in from the Dickinson State bench. Electronic communications became popular in NAIA a couple of years back. Most teams now employ that. Here's the payoff pitch. A swing and a miss on the curveball from Jacob Scully. Retires the side. No runs on one hit. There were no errors and one man left on base. 4 innings in the book. The Bruins 2 and the Blue Hawks 1. 3 innings to go in this one. 2 runs on 4 hits. No errors for the Bruins. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors for Dickinson State. They did have a wild pitch that led to a run, but no fielding errors beyond that. Oh, excuse me, the run scored on a pass ball rather than a wild pitch. Wild pitch came later. Anyway, look at it, 2-1 on the scoreboard as we get ready for the top of the 5th. Parker McMahon back to work. He'll look at the 8-9-1 part of the Dickinson State lineup.
McMahon only 1 win away from tying his record from last season. He's at 3 wins, 1 losses right now. 1 loss? Grammer.
Couple of texts in the queue. Sorry, kind of spaced them here for an inning. Let's get it, Bruins. Love watching you guys play. That's Teron Williams' family listening in Belton, Missouri. Thanks, you guys. Always part of our broadcast. We appreciate it. And we've got a correction here. Jake Scully had, for the record, 9 strikeouts, not 9 walks. So we'll get that corrected.
That is corrected. I apologize.
As we get back to the action, first batter is Logan Broughton, the designated hitter. First pitch from McMahon, called strike 1. Broughton, a strikeout victim, his first time up today. Bounce to the plate, blocked by Logan Grant. Hopefully the McMahon family enjoying a hot chocolate in the lounge at Big Sky Country. Not on the slopes right now, while Parker does his work. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball upstairs, 2-1. Now 3-1 as that fastball misses up high.
That was 4 walks last game, not 9. I can't read my own handwriting. Sorry, everybody.
Trying to keep the leadoff man off base. Here's the pitch from McMahon. Lined up the middle for a base hit. Nice job by Logan Broughton pulling the hands in and lining it up the middle of the field. Well, the leadoff man is on. The tying run at first base for second baseman Caden Finders, 9-hole hitter, so anticipate a sacrifice bunt situation here. Bellevue third baseman Scott Hansen coming way in that spot. That's where Finders will most likely try to avoid, rather bunting it up the first base side instead. He shows bunt early, holds the bat high in the zone, takes that one for a called strike 1. As a pitcher, here's where McMahon wants to try to throw it up in the zone, trying to get Finders to have it pop up in the air. Down in the zone, it's easier to bunt it on the ground. Grant setting up on the outer half of the plate. Finders again showing bunt, now pulls it back. That pitch misses outside, 1-1. Little cat and mouse going on here. Is Finder's going to bunt, or is he going to just try a little chop swing? Or will they go a straight steal with Broughton? Showing bunt early, pulls that one back. Quick throw down to first base, not in time.
Nothing like some quick back and forth sprints to get the blood going.
Broughton does have 2 stolen bases on the year for the Blue Hawks. That one may have crossed up Grant a little bit. He is able to glove it, but so now 3-1 the count. Here's where Parker's got to come anywhere in the strike zone now. Again, Scott Hansen still lurking about 2/3 of the way up the third baseline. Finders swings away, fouls it opposite way, so the count goes full. So giving up most likely on the sacrifice bunt situation. Hansen will go back to his regular third base spot.
That ball went into the trees.
Payoff pitch on its way and just low. So the hit and now a walk. The 8 and 9 hole hitters get on base for the Blue Hawks, taking it back to the top of the order. And a conference by the Bruin infielders, catcher and pitcher on the mound to talk about what they want to do as we may be facing another sacrifice bunt situation. And now Dwayne Monlex comes out of the dugout. He's going to join the crew on the pitcher's mound.
With a sacrifice bunt situation, obviously putting the runners in scoring position, that sets it up for Jaden Roberts, who, as I've said many times today, breakout hitter for Dickinson State.
First man that McMahon will have to face with this 2-on and no-out situation, the catcher, Cam Erickson, waiting at home plate as Michael Dow goes through a series of signs in the third base coaching box for his Blue Hawks.
Now batting the catcher, number 30.
Erickson had to sacrifice bunt his last time up, struck out his first appearance. So we know he's capable of getting the sacrifice done. Corner infielders in just a little bit. Erickson shows bunt early. On the outside, Black called strike 1. More signals, more looks. And let's see what happens here. Throw to second base. The lead runner, Broughton, back in plenty of time. Broughton the runner at second. Finders the runner at first. Cam Erickson waiting at home plate.
McMahon kind of did this little twirl around thing, acting like he was going to throw it down the plate.
Shows bunt, but fouls it back to the net. Erickson a little bit mad at himself for not executing that one. So 0-2. Let's see if the bunt is taken off or if Michael Dow keeps it on. Trying to advance both base runners. It's that dilemma for coaches. You got your leadoff guy who handles the bat well. Erickson, .333 coming into today's action, so he's a chance to hit, even though he didn't get the sacrifice down the last time. That pitch off the outside edge, 1-2. Well, a big moment in game number 1 of this 4-game set right here in this battle between Parker McMahon and Cam Erickson. Again, the throw to second base to C.J. Townsend. Not a close play, but just trying to keep the runner closer to the bag. Maybe cut down on a step or two of his lead.
Keep everyone on their toes.
Bruins hoping a ground ball at one of the infielders to turn the double play. Foul back to the screen. Good job of protecting the plate there by Cam Erickson.
Sounds like he just grazed that ball to keep it foul as well.
Again, foul, this time completely over the backstop and out of play.
Another ball into the trees.
Erickson, a senior out of Centralia, Washington. Has a little conversation with home plate umpire Braxton Art, now back in and ready to continue the at-bat. Hit in the air to center field. Jake Lacey having to backtrack a couple of steps. Near the warning track, he'll make the catch. The tag at second base by Logan Broughton. The Bruins will appeal to second base. They say he left inappropriate time, so another, not a sacrifice, but an advance of the base runner on the fly ball to center field. Broughton now the runner at third base. Finders on at first, and the batter will be center fielder Jaden Roberts. Logan Grant will go out to signal to his infielders what the Bruins want to do on a steal attempt. Again, the Bruins looking for a ground ball at an infielder for a double play to get out of the inning. Blue Hawks trying to look for a base hit from Jaden Roberts. He's 1 for 2 today. Holds up. Grant has it bounce off his chest protector. That will allow Caden Finders to advance to second on the wild pitch. So now 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out for the Blue Hawks. They trail 2-1. Again, we're in the top of the 5th inning.
With Roberts at the plate, McMahon needs to get this guy out because right now he is Dickinson State's best chance at scoring a couple runs here.
And the step off, that'll be the first time for Parker McMahon. Disengagement officially. The word escaped me for a moment. Here's McMahon's delivery, breaking ball in the zone. Gets the call, 1-1. Or are they saying the first pitch was a strike on a check swing? We'll have to check that out here. McMahon comes set. Breaking ball is upstairs. So yes, 1 and 2. They rule the first pitch a swing against Roberts. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Bruin infielders playing at regular depth. Off the outside edge, 2-2. A hard hit ball right at Scott Hansen. If the runner from third goes, he'll try to cut it down at the plate. Middle infielders will more than likely take the out at first base. McMahon would love a strikeout. Breaking ball, that's lined in left field for a base hit. 1 run is in. Second runner around third base. Here comes the throw to the plate. A perfect throw from Elijah Tanner. 1 hop to Logan Grant. And the second opportunity for a run is cut down. Score a run batted in and a single for Jaden Roberts. Logan Broughton scores to make it a 2-2 game, but Caden Finders is cut down on the 7-2 play. A perfect throw by Elijah Tanner in left field.
That was the best possible thing that could have happened given the cards that they were dealt in that specific moment. That was a beautiful catch. It was a beautiful throw. Getting Finders out of the plate like that.
Here's third baseman Wyatt Wilharm. Breaking ball blocked up by Grant. Roberts stayed at first on the throw to home plate. Did not have a chance to take the extra 90 feet. Wilharm, the first run batted in of the day for the Blue Hawks back in the 3rd inning. That one's hit well to center field. Jake Lacey going back to the warning track, and he'll make the catch there. 1 stride in front of the fence. So a hard hit ball by Wyatt Wilharm, but the field holds it, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. After 4.5, 2-2 our score. The Bruins and Blue Hawks tied in this North Star Athletic Association baseball battle. So the Bruins will try to regain the lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Jake Scully was the North Star Athletic Association Pitcher of the Week last week with that victory over Mayville State. Thanks for sending that along. Appreciate it. We got that corrected. Bruins will send C.J. Townsend to the plate to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Then Nick Gravel, then back to the top of the order. But Dwayne Monlick's talking to the home plate umpire, Braxton Art. We may have some pinch hitters for the Bruins, and it looks like that's what we will have. Pinch hitting for the Bellevue Bruins to start off the bottom of the 5th inning. A former Blue Hawk, number 24, Balas Buckmaster, will get the pinch hit opportunity for the Bruins in the 8-hole.
Number 24, Balas Buckmaster.
Buckmaster has been in 16 games for the Bellevue Bruins since becoming eligible. .244 his batting average on the year. A second-team all-conference player during his one-year stint at Dickinson State. I think it was 2023. Chop hard. Third baseman knocks it down. Throw across the diamond is in time. A nice play by third baseman Wyatt Wilharm, able to get a glove on it on a ball hit to his gloved hand side. Able to retrieve it and throw out Balas Buckmaster. Next up for the Bruins will be Nick Gravel, Bruins second baseman. Number 14, that was my old college baseball number. First pitch swinging, fouled up, was away out of play. I always loved the number 7 because I was a Mickey Mantle fan growing up, but number 7 wasn't available. One of the guys who had been in the program ahead of me had that number, so I doubled it up and took number 14.
The only thing better than one Mickey Mantle is two Mickey Mantles.
Yeah. 0-1 the count as Jacob Scully hit on the ground to second base. One second baseman taking care of the under as Caden Finders makes the play. Nick, as you mentioned earlier in the game, the Bruins got that 2-run lead in the first inning, but Jacob Scully has been pretty much lights out after that. He's only allowed a couple of hits to the Bruins over the last 4 innings.
And again, in correcting, he had 9 strikeouts in his last appearance. And that was the same complete game that he had. And that seems to be how it goes. Sometimes you just need to take a couple innings to fine-tune.
Scott Hansen back to the plate for the Bruins. His 3rd time up against Jacob Scully.
Scully's, the way he throws, it's so unpredictable too, which it has to be by design. You never know what to expect when the ball comes out of his hand. Mind games.
2-0 the count as that one comes in too low. Hansen, an Indiana native, played his JUCO ball in Illinois, now a member of the Bellevue Bruins. So he's continuing to move westward in his college baseball career. 2-1 after that tip at the plate. Cam Erickson looks like he's okay. Bruins looking to regain the lead. In last weekend's 4-game set against Valley City, the Bruins led or had it tied the entire way in those 4 games. 2 runs on 4 hits for both squads. As that pitch comes low, Scott Hansen will draw his 2nd walk of the game. And the Bruins keep the inning going for Steven Elsner. So let's see if Elsner can make that walk hurt. Steven, 13 home runs, 38 runs batted in for the Bruins. 1 for 2 today.
That cobalt blue bat.
There's another word, yeah. Cobalt, aquamarine, powder, baby, whatever adjective fits. First pitch swinging, but late on the fastball from Jacob Scully.
Like Hansen was trying to
untie the game, that's for sure. He'd like to connect with one. Breaking ball. Got underneath it. Sends it sky high to center field. Out there, Jaden Roberts has a little difficulty with it, but makes the catch to retire the side. No runs on no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We're through 5 innings of this scheduled 7-inning contest. We're tied at 2, the Bruins and the Blue Hawks. Identical line scores, 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors for each team. The Bruins have left 3 men on base. The Blue Hawks have 4 left on base as this battle between pitchers Parker McMahon and Jacob Scully continues into the 6th.
We love a mirror match, don't we? Mirror match of sorts.
Each of the pitchers today, North Star Athletic Association Pitchers of the Weeks at different points during the season. So a solid matchup between a couple of aces for this game number 1 of the 4-game set. Thanks again for joining us. Nick Grimm over there, Mick Krupski over here. Nick, a rookie behind the microphone. I'm in my 17th year for Bellevue University, and
you can tell for both of us.
So several years before that as well at different places. So I'm an old high school baseball coach, so I enjoy being back behind the microphone for these baseball games. Also coached a little volleyball, coached a little basketball. And grateful to Bellevue for allowing me the opportunity to sit at the ballpark and watch baseball games.
I love watching baseball games. My experience, on the other hand, includes getting 2 hits at my softball league last fall.
There you go. Ready to make the all-star team.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go with the top of the 6th inning. It'll be the cleanup hitter, John Michael Gonzalez, the first to face McMahon in this inning. A walk and a ground out for Gonzalez today. First pitch outside, ball 1.
Now, I've been keeping an eye on Dickinson State's bullpen. I have a really good view of it from where I'm sitting. And it's not stirring at all.
Swing and a miss.
Not even a mouse, Mick.
I think the same over the Bellevue side as well. It's harder to see because there's a couple of obstacles in between, but both coaches going to ride their horses as long as they can. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's lined into right field for the base hit. John Michael Gonzalez. Throw to first base, not in time. Anthony Lynn tried to put Gonzalez out, but couldn't get there in time. So the leadoff man on once again. In each inning that the Blue Hawks have gotten their leadoff guy on, they have scored. 1 run in the 3rd, 1 run in the 5th. Both times the leadoff man got on. Here's a shortstop, Luis Rodriguez. Let's see if it might be sacrifice bunt time here for Rodriguez. Hansen coming in at 3rd. No bunt showed. Slider in the zone. Strike 1 called. Rodriguez 0 for 2 today.
From Cuamo, Puerto Rico.
Shows bunt, puts it up the first base line. Logan Grant out from behind the plate will make the play. A successful sacrifice bunt by Luis Rodriguez advances John Michael Gonzalez into scoring position with 1 away. Grant with a nice job of hopping out behind the plate. Good job of deadening that bunt by Rodriguez. And now we're going to have a conference between the 3 umpires once again. I'm not quite sure what this is going to be about. The only thing I can think of is when Rodriguez got out of the batter's box, he made some contact with Logan Grant. Logan able to make the play. So if they would call interference, then the out would stay and the runner would have to go back to first.
What do we got here?
And we've got no call. Dwayne Monlick's out of the dugout. He was the one who must have requested the conference on the play. Dwayne still trying to get his word in.
All right. I guess I'll keep my Cuamo, Puerto Rico fun fact for next time. It's a good one, Mick.
All right, we'll wait for the next time around. Here's left fielder Moses Dokes. So 1 on in scoring position, fouled against the Bellevue dugout, and then down the right field line. Runner in scoring position is John Michael Gonzalez. Moses Dokes at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a flyout. Breaking ball, swing and a miss.
I really like that pitch placement there from Parker McMahon.
Dokes does have 21 runs batted in on the season in the 29 games played by the Blue Hawks. Fastball upstairs. 1-2. Chase pitch there. Dokes does not. Dokes just over the 300 mark on the season at 305. Low and away.
I hope somebody has a nickname for him. Okie. Okie Dokes.
Bada bing, bada bing.
I'm here all day.
2-2 pitch, just got a piece of that. Back to the screen, 2-2, the count remains.
I think he got the very smallest piece of that ball on that bat that he possibly could have gotten. Just a very light ping.
He'll try to protect the plate. Parker McMahon trying to get the strikeout if he can, or weak contact. Breaking ball, he does get the strikeout. Nicely located slider there for a strikeout. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Parker McMahon. So first baseman Ty Farwell will step to the plate. Bruin infielders play a step or two deeper here, trying to cut down anything. Try to keep everything on the infield here. Farwell 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs. Pitch on the inner half, strike one called.
Standing at 6'5" from Alberta, or sorry, Spruce Grove, Alberta. Bellevue not the only people that like to dip into the Canadian well of ball players.
Valley City State, who the Bruins played last year, had 12 Canadians on their roster. They said that's the most Canadians on any college baseball team in the United States. Next pitch misses off the outside edge, 1-1 the count. Bruins have 7 Canadians. 7 Canadians and 1 Brazilian international players on the Bruin roster this year. Swing and a miss on the outer edge of the plate. Farwell trying to go with a lot of distance on that one. Comes up empty. Now behind in the count, 1-2. McMahon with the set. Chopped on the ground. Get there, get there. Gravel does. A nice play by the Bruins second baseman, Nick Gravel. Gravel always plays a deep second base. He used every foot of that to get to the ball and throw it on time to retire the side.
I really like the athleticism he showed there and the way he was able to both locate, pick up, and throw across his body the way he did to get that out at first. It made me tired just looking at it.
So for the Blue Hawks in the top of the 6th inning, no runs on 1 hit. The leadoff single and sacrifice bunt go to waste. Now 5 men left on base through the first 6 innings for the Blue Hawks. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, we're still tied 2-2 in this battle between Jacob Scully and Parker McMahon and their teammates. Grant, Lacey, and Tanner for the Bruins. 3, 4, 5, part of the order as the Bruins try to get back up on top.
Also sounds like a law firm.
Yep. So a well-played ball game to start off this 4-game series between these two teams. 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow before Dickinson State gets back on the bus for that 10-plus hour drive back to West Central North Dakota.
I'm glad that this game has both of these starting pitchers between McMahon and Scully, just watching them play their game. It's been very nice.
Bellevue catcher Logan Grant will lead things off. Logan has a chance to untie this game. trying to bunt his way on. Nice down the third base line, and it'll be a base hit. And Logan now going to be able to advance as a throw off the mark. There were a couple of guys there trying to back it up, but that throw got way away. And now Logan's going to head to third base, as a right fielder has a hard time picking it up. So score that. An infield single for Logan Grant. An E5 on the throw that gets him to second, and then E9 on the throw that gets him to third. Or are you going to give a double error on the throw?
Just one error.
Just one error on the play. All right. So E5 will put Logan Grant at third base, and he'll come out of the game as his courtesy runner will come in. Jalen Ruffin will now take over for the Bruins at third base.
Coming to bat, the center fielder, number 21, Jake Lacey.
Jalen Ruffin, a brand new Bellevue Bruin this year out of North Platte, Nebraska, as Jake Lacey will be the batter. Lacey got the first run batted in for the Bruins. Blue Hawks will play their infield up, trying to cut down the run at the plate. Ruffin's going to try to make the ball go through here. Jake's going to try to lift something to the outfield as he can, just like he did in the first inning. 1-0 the count. Jake looking for a pitch to drive. Not that one, 2-0.
That was a catastrophic mistake. Series of events that just happened with Dickinson State.
Grant making it all happen with that pressure on the bunt up the third base line. Hit in the air to center field. Roberts will have room for the play, but it should be deep enough to score Ruffin. He tags and will easily trot home. And the Bruins with a 3-2 lead, the second sacrifice fly of the afternoon for Jake Lacey. As Jalen Ruffin, steps on the plate to make it a 3-2 score. Bruins looking for more insurance, however, as Elijah Tanner steps in. Elijah with that strong throw from left field kept the game tie at 2. Bruins back on top once again. First pitch swinging, that scores right center field. Again, Roberts on the move. Looks like he'll have room as the two outfielders cross each other. Fortunately, they did not collide. So back-to-back flies to center fielder Jaden Roberts. And right fielder Anthony Lind for the Bruins. Lind takes that one off the front side of his body. So the inning will continue on the hit by pitch. First hit by pitch by either pitcher today. So a chance for Aiden Macaris to swing the bat with 2 outs. Macaris 1 for 2 today, a single and a strikeout. Macaris with 11 runs batted in on the season.
That is the 7th batter that Scully has hit this season so far.
4 of the runs batted in by Aiden this year come via the long ball. Breaking ball as Scully gets ahead in the count, 0-1. Again, we talked about Lind being the Bruins' leading base stealer on the season. Let's see if he's in motion with 2 outs trying to get to second base. He is. The pitch is outside. The throw to second base tails again out in the center field, but Roberts alertly backing it up on the play. So second stolen base of the day for Anthony Lind. Now a team leading 12 stolen bases.
Anthony Lind, he did what I would describe as a dolphin dive to get into the plate, and he was able to contour himself to where he wasn't hit by the ball. Still managed to get on the plate. Very well done.
So now the attention turns to Macaris at the plate. If he can get something through for a base hit, the Bruins have a chance to go up another run. That one's fouled back to the net. One ball, 2 strikes to count on the Bruin first baseman. Again, Erickson, the catcher, wanting his pitcher to go way wide with this pitch. Maybe not quite that wide, but doesn't want to give a good pitch there. So we're back to a 2-ball, 2-strike, 2 out. 3-2 score.
Runner on second, a lot of twos.
Again, Erickson setting off the outside edge of the plate. Scully delivers. That's where it goes again. A good take by Macris as the count goes full. C.J. Townsend, who re-entered the game for the Bruins, on deck. Should Macris keep the inning alive? Swing and a miss. And caught by Erickson at the plate. Macris thought it dropped on the ground, but it did not. So the strikeout retires the side. But the Bellevue Bruins do pick up that one big run on one hit. There were no errors, or excuse me, one big error, and one man left on base. 1-1-1-1 on the inning. The Bruins, as we head to the top of the 7th inning, lead it 3-2 in this 7-inning contest. Parker McMahon back to the mound, going to try to get the complete game victory by finishing this one. He'll be looking at the 8-9-1 part of the order for Dickinson State. We'll see if pinch hitters might be coming up or if Michael Dow, the head coach of Dickinson State, stands pat with his starting lineup. The 8-9 hitters for Dickinson State have done a nice job of getting on base. Broughton and Finders have been on base 3 of the 4 times they've been up. So hold on to your hats here as we see if this is the final half inning or if the game will continue. Logan Broughton will lead things off. A strikeout and a single, the body of work for Logan Broughton today against Parker McMahon. Breaking ball, swung on and missed.
Was really trying to go for that one, too. The power behind that swing.
Looking down, don't see any action in the Bellevue bullpen. That one's hit in the air to center field. Jake Lacey has it in his sights. Now he has it in his glove. First out of the inning.
They've kept Lacey busy today.
He's been a busy man out there in center field and at the bat with 2 of the 3 Bruin runs batted in. Caden Finders, the next man up, the 9-hole hitter, takes a fastball for a strike 1 call. Finders has been up twice, been on twice, both times with walks. Has scored 1 of the 2 runs for Dickinson State. Foul back to the net, bangs off the support pole, 0-2. Three to 2 our score. 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the Bruins. 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for Dickinson State. Parker shakes off the first suggested pitch. And the fastball, the strikeouts for the second out of the inning. 6 Ks on the game for Parker McMahon. 1 out away from earning the complete game victory. Parker does have 2 complete games already on the season. Standing in the way between him and his third is catcher Cam Erickson at the top of the order. Erickson 0 for 2 with the sacrifice. Back to the net on the foul ball, strike 1. Parker, little more adrenaline flowing through his body. That fastball, one of the top marks, I believe, on the day. We don't have the jugs gun visible, but he can get it into the low 80s, upper 80s, low 90s. Let's see what he goes with here on the 0-1. Chop foul once again, now 0-2. Blue Hawks down to their final bullet.
Like I said last time, we have no speed gun down there, so we can just assign whatever speed we want. Realistic, I don't know about realistic.
There is one, but we just can't see it. The Bruin, some of the Bruin reserves running a radar jugs gun down there. So 0-2 the count.
We should get one up here, just for fun.
That one's hit in the air to right field. Anthony Lynn coming on, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. A 3-up, 3-down in the top of the 7th inning as starting pitcher Parker McMahon finishes strong to pick up his 3rd complete game of the season, and the Bellevue Bruins win it by a score of 3-2. The pitcher's duel between Parker McMahon and Jacob Scully gets things started on this opener of the 4-game set. With the victory, the Bellevue Bruins are now 20-11 overall, 5-0 in conference play. With the loss, Dickinson State drops to 11-19 and 3-2 in conference play. Well, stars of the game for the Bellevue Bruins, I've got to give it to Parker McMahon on the mound, and at the plate, Jake Lacey with 2 runs batted in of the 3 as the Bruins take the victory.
I also think that Lacey did an excellent job fielding today. There were a lot of balls that were hit way, way out there that he was the one there to intercept and catch, just to keep the scoring as low as it could, just to hold Dickinson State.
So a well-pitched, a well-played game. That's one of those where one team has to win, one team has to lose. The Bruin fans happy that they're on the winning side of that one. Final text, tough loss for the Hawks. Yes, we agree. The Bruins eke out the 1-run victory to open this series. Give us about 25 or 30 minutes, and we'll be back for more baseball. Game number 1 concluded in about an hour and 40 minutes. So about 2:10, 2:15, we'll be back for game number 2, the 9-inning contest in this series between the Blue Hawks and the Bruins. Mick Krupski and Nick Grin signing off for now. Join us again in about 25 minutes right here on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network.